It's got to be real.
Be real. Be real. Yes, guys, what's going on? Froch and George Groves. You like my cup? But anyway, yeah. With Froch and George Groves, it's like this, yeah. I saw what happened in the gloves are off, right? Firstly, right, so I'm gonna give my take a little bit on that, right? Because I haven't given it, so I might as well give a little bit of my take on that. Now, the thing is that Froch versus George Groves, the gloves are off. First, can you guys hold on? Right, sorry guys. Yeah, the first thing is this. Yeah, the first thing is that Froch, right, and George Groves sat on the seats, and them seats, in my opinion, they were placed like that American show, and I don't know if they usually do this, Sky Sports. I can't remember them doing this because I've been watching Box Nation for like a good while now. I haven't seen Sky Sports in ages, so I'm not sure if they've done like a build-up like this before where they've sat on the opposite side of the seat. So I thought that was a bit of a cheap rip-off. I thought they should have just sat normally. But that aside, right, let's get into what happened with everything. Now, when Froch and George Groves had the meeting, Froch clearly ripped George Groves apart. Now, I was thinking to myself, when I was hearing people talk about it, I was thinking George Groves got totally ripped and annihilated. But and you know the way people were talking about it, because I was out when it was on live. The way people were talking about it, I was really like, what the hell? But when I saw it live, I thought, you know what, George Groves was talking back, and he wasn't like just totally quiet. But there were times when he didn't have much to say. But it wasn't until that handshake that I started thinking, whoa, what the fuck? Right, because Froch absolutely has got the upper hand. But here's the thing, right? As you all know, I've picked George Groves to win this fight, and I can't go back on that. Okay, I don't go back on my predictions. I keep it real, and I'm gonna go with and stick with that prediction that George Groves is gonna win this fight. So people can say Froch is gonna win, and you know you've got a fair point, right? It's a 50-50 fight. It's a close fight, whichever way you swing it. And the thing is that Froch got the upper hand in that the gloves are off situation. And does that make a difference in the fight? It does make a difference. But I don't think that Froch is going to benefit from that in the ring, because I'm going to tell you why now. People are thinking that this is going to benefit Froch and Froch could be upper hand. I don't think so. I think that the person more emotionally involved right now is George Groves. But here's the thing. When it comes to fight, right, George Groves is the better exchange for exchange. Do you know what I mean? Like, certain fighters are outside fighters, certain fighters are inside fighters. I personally feel that George Groves, boxing-wise, is a better inside fighter than Froch. Froch is better on the outside. So, it's not a situation of, like, what applies to one fighter applies to the other fighter. And you guys got to understand this, okay? Because the thing is that if George Groves decides to get an exchange, so good, he can do that, he can afford to do that. But Froch can't afford to do that, because if he does that, as happened in the first fight, he'll get his ass handed to him, he'll get knocked down again. And I think Froch is still emotionally involved in the fight. And although George Groves is emotionally involved, I don't think it's going to harm him, because his fighting style is left-right hooks, and he's going to go for that anyway. And but the thing is, when you try too hard, if George Groves tries too hard, he'll gas out early. I don't think personally he's going to do that. I think the thing is, right, that with the whole situation with the gloves are off, right, I think what's happened is Froch has got definitely the upper hand right now, and he's going to have a bit more of a cooler head because he's got the upper hand in the talk. We've got the press conference coming up, and after the press conference, it could well be that George Groves gets under Froch's skin, and as the fight gets nearer, and as you get to the weigh-in, and you know, Froch is going to get a little bit grumpier as time goes on, because he's going to have to make weight. George Groves gets to him when he's in that ring, he's hydrated up a little bit, but he's still like, you know what I mean, obviously the training's taking a toll, you're on edge. If you know, it's very easy for Froch to lose his cool, and if he loses his cool and he decides to go left and right hooks with George Groves, it's not going to be pretty for him, I'm telling you now. For Froch to win this fight, he has to do this. He has to be on the outside and use his timing and use his skill that he has, and uses more than anything his experience. Because the thing is, Carl Froch's defense on the inside is not the best defense. He doesn't really know how to fight on the inside. Andre Ward exposed that. Like Andre Ward didn't just beat Carl Froch, he exposed Carl Froch. Okay, now Carl Froch did okay in the fight on the outside. In the inside quarters, he didn't know what to do. And I think it's the same thing with George Groves. If George Groves gets on the inside and Carl Froch starts exchanging with him, honestly, Groves will drop him again. I don't think that Carl Froch is going to drop Groves like that, because I just don't see it happening. Because you see your power punches, right, is your left and your right hook, right? The most powerful punch that you can throw as an orthodox fighter is your right hook, followed by your left hook, followed by your right uppercut, left uppercut, arguably, do you know what I mean? So you can switch whichever way. But then after that comes your right cross. After that comes the jab. Do you get me? Now, the weaker punches, right, Carl Froch is better at. The stronger punches, George Groves is better at. And, you know, this plays, and people might think this is bullshit, but you'll see on Fight Night that this is what plays a role in these two's fighting style, that Carl Froch keeps his guard low. And it's like similar to Sean Porter and Paulie Malignaggi fight, where Sean Porter was the hooker and Paulie Malignaggi was trying to mix it up on the inside, and Porter was catching him left, right, and centre. Same thing with Amir Khan versus Julio Diaz. Amir Khan does not know how to fight on the inside, and Julio Diaz caught him. It's not a question of who's better, because Amir Khan is by far the better boxer than Julio Diaz. In what manner? In this respect, that if you put Julio Diaz and Amir Khan against 15 opponents, and you have to fight 15 opponents in the next month, right? Amir Khan will beat more of them 15 opponents than Julio Diaz will. So Amir Khan is a better fighter than Julio Diaz. But on that night, Julio Diaz is a hooker, Amir Khan is not a hooker. And when Amir Khan decided to exchange with Julio Diaz, it wasn't good for him. Do you get my point? Outside fighters, inside fighters. I don't know why it's always been like that. Ali and Joe Frazier. I mean, you could take Floyd Mayweather Jr. and you could put him up against, I don't know, man, Andre Ward. Even though they're different weight classes, if you were to put them two fighters together, they're both very skillful, but Ward is the better hooker. Do you get me? Now, if you could put them in together in the same weight class, now I know Mayweather has got a good hook, but he hasn't got the best hook. And if he goes and decides to exchange with people, which he doesn't do because he's smarter than that, you know what I mean, he could potentially get knocked out. But Mayweather is an enigma, and it's difficult to apply it to Floyd Mayweather. But generally, I'm talking, you get inside fighters and outside fighters. And, I mean, Tyson and Ali, do you know what I mean? If Ali decided to exchange with Tyson on the inside, hook with him, he'd get knocked out. You know what I mean? It's just simple as that. Tyson was a beast, but again, if Ali used his boxing IQ, he'd outbox Tyson, he'd keep out the jab, ba ba bam, ba ba bam, ba ba bam, and he'd be hitting his head back all night long until Tyson will gas out or give up or get frustrated. I mean, we look at Ali and Frazier. Frazier is a different fighter to Tyson in terms of his defense, but he's a hooker as well. And, you know, he dropped Ali, but, you know, I mean, overall, if you look at the fights that they had, Ali was able to outbox Joe Frazier and use his brains. Similar with Carl Froch and George Groves, right? When they fight, if Groves decides to hook, which he will, and Carl Froch decides to hook and exchange, he will get his ass handed to them. Trust me, he will. And it all depends on that night if he can keep his cool. If he can't keep his cool in the fight and he decides to hook, George Groves, trust you me, will knock him out. And it's all about up here. It's all up here. Carl Froch, for 12 rounds, what he can do is outboxing, bang, 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 bang. And that's all he has to do. If he doesn't do that and George Groves can get under his skin, I think Groves will stop Carl Froch. That's what I think. Or he'll just put a beating on him and show his age. But let me know what you think. Comment section below. Subscribe as always. What do you guys think? Do you think the gloves are off shoulders a bit of emotion in Carl Froch still? Because it's not about George Groves. George Groves, like I said, he can show his emotion. It doesn't matter for him. Okay, he wants that exchange. So comment section below. Subscribe as always. Let me know what you think in a bit.